Come here, baby. Hey everyone. I'll just wait for you guys to join. Come here, Wilfred. The love of my life is my dog. Come on, puppy. How are we? Okay. Starting to join. Thank you for joining. Just wait a few more minutes. If there's anyone else that wants to catch the live. I did say that you can watch the replay as long as, one or the other, live or the replay, and just as long as you watch it from the beginning. But we'll just see if there's anyone else wanting to jump on, do the live session. If you're watching live here or the replay, just pop in your comments what city you're tuning in from. I know we've got a bit of a global community. Love to see where you're all from. Got a couple of you. I wonder if I can see. Got a couple of you there. Can't see exactly who's live, but welcome. Thank you for joining live. Hope you are doing all right in this crazy old world. And I know it's really brought to the forefront, emotions and feelings about ourselves and our relationships. Hey, Jess is from Hobart. Thanks for tuning in, Jess. Okay, so we'll get started. I know there's a few others that wanted to join live, so they might join a bit later, so that's fine. This day one's more coaching, so totally fine to kind of just jump in halfway through for this first session. We've got Tamara in Melbourne. Great. 2 states of Australia covered. So I just want to say a big welcome. Congratulations. If you didn't watch the welcome video, welcome to watch that after this. But just want to reiterate, my gratitude for you for taking a step in the right direction of actually, taking control of your life and making a decision to improve your life. And this 3-day rapid rewire masterclass, we're focusing on love relationships. And each day I'll come live, so it'll be roughly about an hour each day. So I'll do 9 o'clock tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday night. What's that? Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I decided to go live tonight because we've got a new moon in Taurus, which is all about self-love and money, actually, which wouldn't be such a bad thing on the side. And a new moon is really a really good opportunity, a really good starting point to start something new. If it's personal development, if it's a new mindset, if it's starting a new relationship, or ending a relationship with yourself or with someone. It could even be a friendship. This is a really good energy to start fresh and just start something new. And what a perfect kind of synchronicity with rewiring our subconscious to attract loving relationships that serve you. And we'll go into that. As I said, it's not important that you join live. It's important that you do watch from the beginning, and really give yourself that dedication. So clear your diary for an hour, make sure that you won't be interrupted, do what you have to do with the household, just to make sure that you're actually giving yourself that space, that hour every day, to really surrender and allow yourself to be open to the emotions that may come up. And it doesn't have to be really hard. It doesn't have to be really emotional, but this is a pretty touchy, it's quite a very personal subject. So I'm not going to lie, emotions are, it's going to be emotional, and it's actually the key part of healing is emotions. It's one of the key parts, and I'll talk a bit more about that in this coaching session today. So yeah, as I said, each day, or I'll come live the next couple of days. I'll post a mission in each day. So I really would love your engagement with each mission. And if you're coming on live or watching the replays, post in the comments any questions that you have, or any comments, or just anything, your experience as well. Over the next couple of days, we'll be going into the energy healing, and everyone has their own kind of unique experience. So I'd love to just hear your experience on each of the healing pathways that we go through. So there'll be missions each day to keep you engaged. I will, if you don't do the missions, or you're not really engaged, I will remove you from the group, just because I just want fully engaged women here who really is serious about making change in their life. And if you take this seriously, you're gonna have some kind of profound impact and change in your life. I don't take this energy stuff lightly. I've been doing it for 3.5 years now, and working on hundreds of clients, and I've really shown an effect of what energy healing can do. It doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to go to India and go and eat, pray, love to actually have some profound impact in your life. It can be easy. It can be really easy, like energy work is really. You follow the principles. So if you're engaged each day and with each mission, I've got a little bit of a bonus and for you, and I'll let you know at the end of day 3 what that is. I'll reward you with the bonus if you do all the missions, which actually it's doing yourself a service as well, because you do the missions, you're actually helping yourself to heal as well. Really, engagement is key. So what you'll expect over the next 3 days. So today we'll discuss a bit of coaching on mindset and how it all works, we bring it all together. And we'll do a bit of an activity, a very basic activity, but it'll start to uncover your subconscious beliefs. And we'll also set an intention for the session. Everyone will have their own personal intention as well, as a generic intention for the group. And then I'll also do a little bit of energy work to uncover some the emotion that's keeping you stuck, a negative life pattern, and some other details like the age and things like that. I'll do actually a personal if you do the mission, I'll give you a bit of a personal touch on your intention as well. So that's day 1, kind of setting the scene, discovering our subconscious beliefs. Day 2 is where the magic starts. And day 2 is all about getting straight into the forensic healing protocol, and we'll take you back where it all began, and we'll start to rewrite your subconscious beliefs. So day 3 is similar as well. So we'll go further in the detective work of the forensic healer, and we'll really go and reshape your beliefs and set your new beliefs using the forensic healing protocol. And that will really anchor in your new desired beliefs that you want for your life. And like I said, what you put in is what you get out. So it really is up to you. I'm a conduit to connection. I'm a conduit for healing. It is really up to you on the changes that you make in your own life, as this is really all about responsibility. And I guess I'm a conduit. I have some tools that really helped me through some difficult relationships, and that's why I'm sharing it with you today as well. I have been through breaking the cycle of negative relationships, or negative relationship with myself. And we're all here, I guess, for a reason. And that brings me on to, now that we've kind of got the housekeeping out of the way, why we are all here. And I just want to acknowledge your presence here. We're all here for a reason, and we're all here for a similar reason. We're women that may have found ourselves stuck in a relationship cycle. We're not really attracting the ideal candidate that will serve our higher self. You may have noticed a pattern of past relationships. You may keep going back to your ex, or attracting different versions of your ex. You want to empower yourself. You want to feel more empowered. You want to feel love, and step away from plan B. I guess sometimes you can feel like your ex could be your plan B, or you it's really about empowering you with the right energy so that you can attract the ideal candidate, the ideal partner, the ideal love relationships that will best serve you. So that's what we're here to do. And I guess you may also want peace within yourself. You don't want to keep wondering why you're alone and you're not comfortable alone. You want to find validation in other ways, external validation to love yourself. And what we're here to do really, and from all of the experience I've had working with people one-on-one with this intention, is a lot of it does come down to self-worth and self-love. We're continuously looking for external validation for other people to love us, because we can't love ourselves. And that's where my journey's come from. And when you truly love yourself, that will be reflected in your relationships, in your life. So that's what we're here today to do. I'm here to coach you, to help you through, lift some of those energies, getting down to the subconscious beliefs that keep us stuck, and rewriting them so that we can start attracting the energy that really will serve us. So there's a notion that I kind of live by, and that is everything happens for a reason. And I really want to deep dive into this, because our life is a reflection of our beliefs and our values. So what's inside of us is reflected in our reality. But you might be asking, what does this actually mean? So you can kind of essentially think about it like this. Your life is like a film being projected, and your body and your mind is the kind of projector, and the software running the film is driven by your internal written code. So if you don't like the film that you're watching, that you're experiencing, then you have to rewrite the coding that plays the film. And the coding that is that kind of runs this film, that's where your dominant beliefs live. So your coding's your internal world, and your subconscious in particular, your dominant beliefs about the world is what drives us. And yeah, I mean, I guess you might be thinking how subconscious beliefs are formed. And it all starts with one thing, one understanding. And I won't get too much into quantum physics. If you want, I mean, it's the science that explains how energy works, and you can go down that rabbit hole of Googling it, because it is fascinating and addictive. But it does state that everything at its smallest, smallest, if you go down layers and layers and layers of the atom, the smallest particle you can get to is actually energy. It's space, and it's energy dashing really quickly. And it states that everything exists at a frequency, or it's all the particles are vibrating very, very quickly at different frequencies. So that's where you might have heard, frequencies, change of frequency, that's quite common to hear that. So essentially it just relates to the level at which the thing is vibrating. So clothes are a frequency, is energy. The chair that you're sat on is energy. The bed, your hair, your eyeballs, everything is energy, including your thoughts and feelings. So even though it's not tangible, your thoughts and emotions actually hold a frequency as well. So, and essentially within this realm of energy, anything is possible. Every outcome that ever existed is available to you, and it already exists. But it's about tapping into that frequency. And the interesting thing about observation and focus and intention and attention is like it's what manifests and the energy that shows up in your life. So when you put focus on something, you actually create a state of being with this energy. So the energy is flickering at every possible outcome it can be, and when you put attention to it, it chooses a location. And you can go more into quantum physics. Oh my God, it's so hard to explain. But it makes sense when you obsess over it for months. So essentially the notion is everything is energy. And you might have heard the law of attraction. So that is, it is an older paradigm. There's actually a new law that has kind of, superseded. And that's the law of co-creation. So that, in my last video I just posted, I go on about that. So yeah, have a read about manifestation, have a listen to what I've rabbited on about manifestation there in the last video. But essentially, like energy attracts like energy. So once an energy thought is created, it feeds on itself and it attracts more and more and more of that kind. I guess that's why sometimes we can spiral in like a negative downward spiral, and it just keeps going worse and worse and worse and worse. Or you can be in a really good mood and things are going well, and you get that spiral up and up and up and up and up, and you get, that's energy. That's and it can work both ways. It can be good, it can work for you or against you sometimes. So that's energy. That's the absolute basis of your understanding of what you need to know about energy healing, is that absolutely everything is connected by this energy grid around us. So it's just this invisible grid that connects all of us to everything. And then, so if we think about our forming beliefs, we could take it back to actually it goes back further, but I'm not going to go that far. When we're in the womb, we're this ball of energy and cells, and we're already absorbing the world around us, so the energy around us. And even though this fetus, this baby, has no conscious thought process, and it doesn't really have an awareness, I guess, a conscious awareness, it still does have consciousness. So in saying that, because it's this energy, it's already starting to form beliefs about life and about the world, and it's making associations with the world around us. So, for example, your mother and father's emotions are already having an impact and an effect on the baby's ball of energy and consciousness. And for example, if the father's really stressed about work and not having enough money coming in, that energy of the father is actually also imprinted in the energy of this forming baby. Likewise, so like, yeah, the baby's going to grow up to most likely have beliefs about there's no money around, it's hard to get money is stressful, and they'll probably have some money issues if that was really the dominant belief of the father at that time. Likewise, if they feel the energy of the mother, so if the mother is growing, it doesn't feel loved by the partner, or the mum doesn't actually love herself, she struggles with self-confidence and self-love, this is also imprinted on the baby's consciousness, and the baby will most likely grow up to have a belief that they're not good enough, or love is hard, or it's difficult. So they feel the energy as emotions, and the emotions as energy. And they make that association about that, the emotion that the parents are feeling with that subconscious belief. So they're making those associations. And then throughout life, these associations continue. So when that emotion of feeling unloved is triggered, either throughout life, as a small child, or even in adulthood, if it's triggered with friends or family or situations, then that belief solidifies even more and more and more in the brain. And I'll talk about the kind of neuro connections later on. But it solidifies and it gets stronger, and this becomes a dominant belief. So the energy around the beliefs attracts more and more and more of the same energy, and it just reaffirms that belief. So this is why we kind of tend to get into, we see ourselves in this negative life pattern that just keeps repeating itself, because it's a dominant belief. And when a child continues to form these beliefs around about the world, and its environment, we're also learning the good stuff as well as the beliefs that don't serve us and are less desirable and that limit our experience. So right up until age 6 or 7, a child's actually operating in their subconscious. And when from then on, it usually starts to form a little bit more of a conscious awareness. But right up to the age of 3, the child has actually already formed most of its dominant beliefs around self-worth and life, things about life, what they believe life to be true. So our dominant beliefs, these are your kind of foundational beliefs and associations that we believe about the world are imprinted by age 3. So, and then they're all run on automatically for your entire life. So you don't even think about it. You just know that to be true, subconsciously. So this is kind of your foundational software that you're coding, so to say, that I've been rabbiting on about. And your coding is energy as well. It holds energy, it holds power. It exists in your inner world, and then what exists in your inner world is reflected into your reality. So you want to build a, just grab a drink. You want to build stable foundations. So if your life, you can think of your life as a building. So with each year, you get a story of the building and you add it on. So let's say up to seven years, you've got 7 stories. But these are each building has foundations. So our foundations of a building are usually hidden and below ground. Much like our software coding, our beliefs are hidden. We don't really realize that they're there. We take them for granted. And so our foundations are these beliefs and values about the world and what we believe to be true. So our foundations are, if our foundations in a building aren't built on solid ground, if we have some beliefs, limiting beliefs around relationships, love and health, then that shows up as limitations and challenges in life. The building might be a bit wonky. And when we experience limitations in our life, we want to change it, you actually have to go back to those founding beliefs and support structures. You've got to revise your foundations to support a much bigger view on life. And it's literally rewriting the code and rewiring the energy to flow from a more stronger, supportive foundation. It's an abundance belief system that we want. That gives us those strong foundations to, expand in life. And when we grow our foundations in a stable manner, meaning changing the foundations for the better, we actually open ourselves up to more possibilities and more possibilities in alignment with our beliefs and wants and desires that do serve us. So our life just flows easier. And a key to tapping into our subconscious is through our thoughts as well. So our mind is a really important aspect to help us change our life. So our mind is actually always working towards what we want. And if it thinks what we want is the code of our subconscious running on autopilot, then that's what will show up, and that's what our mind will actually lead us to believe. So your mind actually works on autopilot, and if your belief is that you're unlovable from a childhood, your mind will work on autopilot to reconfirm that belief. So your energy will reflect that in your reality. So our thoughts create these neuro pathways in our brain. I'm sure you've heard of this before. And each time you think of a thought, that creates, it strengthens that pathway, that neuro pathway, which is why you would readily accept your long-held belief as a fact, because it's just so ingrained in you, and you don't know why you believe it. You don't know why you value something. It just is sometimes. So it's kind of like driving a car. You're looking at every motion, changing the gear, looking in the rearview mirror. You're conscious about every movement that you do driving a car when you're starting to learn. But after a few years, you just kind of drive on autopilot. And it's just an automatic activity now. You don't really think about it. And sometimes, you know, you drive to work and you kind of don't even remember the drive. It just happened. It's because we're on autopilot. And that's how our thoughts and beliefs, that's how they kind of work. So our thoughts just become automated and reconfirming beliefs of these neuroconnections. But the great news is that there's this thing called neuroplasticity, and that is our friend, because it means that we can literally rewire, rewrite, recondition the brain and change those neuro pathways. Even if they're solid for foundational beliefs from childhood, we can still change them. And that's where knowing how energy works really comes in handy, and is really important, because the subconscious is there to keep you safe, and where we really have to get through to the subconscious, and there's a barrier to that, and that's called the ego. That's our consciousness, our conscious mind. And so we really have to get through that to talk to our subconscious now. And if you want to change your subconscious beliefs, you've got to update your software, and you're literally like recreating a new thought pattern that then will work on autopilot. So thoughts directed intentionally are even more powerful and more important. And how you direct your thought, so an intention is another key to healing as well. So where you might have heard, where attention goes, energy flows. And so we want to direct our thoughts to create a kind of life force. So with every thought and directed thought, there's a ball of energy, and it creates this new ball of energy that we want to attract more and more and more of that into our life. So the thought kind of grows and creates a life of its own. So the more you feed it with like thoughts and attention with our thinking and our mindset, the more impact it will have. So even though you might be desiring a particular positive outcome, but you're deep in your heart and your subconscious fears the worst because you've been hurt before, and there's that cycle. It's the fear-based thinking, which is the dominant thought, and the dominant thought, it really, that's what brings your undesirable outcome to life. So the dominant thought is our subconscious belief, which is that fear of being hurt again. So learning to keep your thoughts positive will actually serve you better in maintaining your, attracting the life of your desire and what you want in life. I hope that's all making sense. I'm not going too fast. Please post any comments or questions that you might have. Yeah, great. Cool. We'll go on to emotions is another, so you've got the mind, thoughts, emotions, all part of the healing process. So emotions actually trigger thoughts and beliefs and those neuro pathways. So every time we experience, for example, rejection, we're actually reconfirming that emotional pathway that has been imprinted when we first learnt that emotion and that belief. So it's triggered, and then we feel that emotional, that associated belief. So feeling rejected might confirm your belief that you're not lovable. And then that cycle just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. As children, we not only learn from the words that are said to us when we're children, but also through the feeling that it creates. So there's that associating the feeling, you know, the words and the intention and they kind of translate it to feeling. So yeah, even if a child says that they love them and they do show them love, and they say that they love them, if that parent doesn't feel worthiness for themselves, then the child won't necessarily pick up worthiness as a belief system, even though they may feel loved from their parents. If someone doesn't actually feel worthy, they can't transmit that feeling onto their child. So even though we're running on an automated program, we won't actually let ourselves have more than we think we deserve. So if we do get more than we think we deserve, like you finally, meet someone that is the man of your dreams, or you get that job promotion, or something happens, our mind actually tries to get it to go away. Or we punish ourselves by like blowing something else up in our lives, in a different area of our lives. It's like because there's no like solid foundation of that belief structure. So there's no sense of support there's no sense of self to support that, that behavior, that man, that woman, that the love that we've received, the kind of that really good feeling. We self-sabotage. Because we're not used to it, because we're not, our belief is that we're not worthy, we're not good enough. So how many of you actually has experienced this self-sabotage behavior? It's a pretty common thing, unfortunately. But it's just the mind doing exactly what it should be doing. It's just playing our subconscious on autopilot. So, that's what you might be experiencing with this cycle of relationships, that you sabotage your cycle to keep you stuck in that cycle because it's familiar. So, how do we rewrite our coding so that our autopilot is serving us? I just want you to take a moment and think, if you want to know what subconscious beliefs you have about relationships or anything else in your life, look at what happens in your life about relationships. What shows up? So this is the reflection that I was talking about. So when things happen in life, just ask yourself, what belief is this showing me? What belief do I have about life? And actually I had a strong one the other day, lifelong belief that just hit me. I was just forever trying to figure out why I've always had issues with my housemates. It's just a pattern that's been going on and on and on, and I'm like, I'm not a bad person, and more often than not, you're not a bad person, it's not your fault. But it's a belief that we created when we were young. And I know for me, I had a bit of a broken family, so my belief was that the home wasn't flowing, wasn't easy, wasn't comfortable. There's always trouble, there's always problems. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and going, oh yes, that is the belief. I'm literally attracting this belief into my system again and again and again and again in my life. with all the houses that I live in, with all the housemates that I have. So it's kind of like a nice thing when you get to understanding of, oh, holy shit, this isn't, you know, it's not actually me. Well, it is me, but it's not me. And you can actually go in and change it. But it's about recognizing what belief that is. So looking at your life, seeing what shows up. If there's not enough money, you know, you might have a belief about money, limiting that. If it's about, you know, love relationships, there's definitely a belief about that holding you back and stuck into that cycle. So if we want to change what's showing up in our life, what's reflecting in our life, we need to change the coding that's automated software. Is automated coding that keeps us stuck. And it's there to support us, really. But we've been programmed from birth. So to change the coding, we need to first find the emotion that triggers and runs this belief, and also find an age when it was first imprinted, is really important. It's about getting to the root cause. And the more focus you have and the more details you have, the easier it is to actually go in and change the energy. So we really want to get to the root cause of this belief. And when we get there, we literally rewrite the code of which we desire. So we imprint, we lift the barriers, and we want to imprint the coding that actually does serve us, that we are lovable, that we're worthy of love. And then it gets to be really easy. We don't have to do anything else after that. I'm not going to get you to do a 30-day challenge of, you know, meditating every day or this. I'm not going to do that. After these 3 days, I'm going to let you live your life, run the program after we've upgraded, and just see what shows up in your life. Because the body has an amazing magical power of reading and running the new codes straight away. Because remember, it's automatic. It may take time to integrate, but if you do this really well, you don't need to rewrite the code again and again and again and again. If you really dedicate yourself, open yourself up to receive, get to the root cause, allow yourself to feel the emotion, allow yourself to receive the new imprints, the new codes that I give you. You don't have to do this again. You don't have to keep working on it with every intention, for 30 days, for 90 days. It gets to be really easy. And that's why I love this energy work, because it gets to be easy. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. So that's why it's really important to focus and dedicate the next 3 days. Set aside an hour each day. You can either go live if you can join me live, great. If you can't, just make sure you've got an hour every day to really submit this and really give you the best possible chance to get to the root cause. Feel that emotions, cry your heart out if you need to, because releasing those emotions are so important. It will give you the best possible chance to actually get down to those deep-rooted subconscious beliefs. And I usually work one-on-one with people, but I have done group intentions before. And when we use our directed intention, and we can all heal together. It's a beautiful synergistic energy that happens when we all come together for the same intention or similar. And everyone will have their own experience, and I'll give you different. Everyone will have their separate reading of information, so it'll be very unique to everyone. But the only thing standing in your way, and I've said it before, the only thing standing in your way is you. and your openness to receive. So, if you open yourself up to the possibility of healing, that the possibility that you are loved, that you are worth it, then you can open yourself up to the possibility that it's available to you and you can have it and you can get it, and it gets to be that easy. And I'll let you in on one, a bit of a secret, which is essentially what we're doing here. It's one of the best top tips for manifestation, which is, I also go on in my last video. But one of the main ingredients for the components of manifestation is detachment. So it's actually detaching from the outcome. And when you let go of the outcome, something that, that you fully trusted and surrendered. Because the opposite of that, when you attach yourself to the outcome, you're attaching to something that you want, which means something you don't have. So what you're telling the universe and what you're attaching to is actually the lack of that outcome, the fact you don't have it in your life. So when we detach, we trust and surrender that the outcome or a version of it is available to us. And you are handing over the reins, the how it turns up in your life, to the universe. And by changing your subconscious belief, you're actually assisting that energy to flow through you. So we don't want to attach ourselves to anything of lack, because that will just keep coming to you. You really need to let go to allow yourself to really receive the healing that's available to you. So what we're going to do now is a bit of an exercise to show you about your subconscious beliefs. So it's just a really easy exercise to reveal some of your subconscious beliefs. And I like this one because it gives you something to work with and reflect on. And then after, we'll use energy healing to get a little bit deeper and actually set our intention, find the emotion that's keeping us stuck and our negative life pattern. So for this activity, you will need a pen and paper. So I'll just give you a few minutes to go and off and find that. Just a scrap bit of paper or a pen, or you can use your phone if you don't have anything. So I'll give you a few minutes to grab that. Okay. All right. So if you're watching the replay, you can just pause the video, I guess, while you get a bit of paper and pen. Or your phone is fine. So I just want you to really relax and just let whatever comes to you, just let it out. So the first thing that comes to mind, write that down. And I'll get you to just complete the sentences in fairly short words. Okay, so we've got 20 questions. Write down the first thing that comes to mind. Number 1, to have a loving relationship, I would have to. First thing that comes to mind, just write that down. It doesn't matter what it is. Number 2, to be happy, I would need to. Number 3, to have the life I want, Number 4, my ideal partner is. Number 5, I can't be loved unless. Number 6, love is. Number 7, a relationship is. Number 8, to feel more loved, I would need to. Number 9, to be safe, I need to. Number 10, looking through my mother's eyes, I am. Number 11, looking through my father's eyes, I am. Number 12, my mother could never. Number 13, my father could never. Number 14, my mother thought relationships are. Number 15, my father thought relationships are. Number 16, people think relationships are. Number 17, if I really be myself, then. Number 18, if I show people who I am, then. Number 19, if people show who they are, then. Number 20, the future is. Okay, now I just want you to have a look at your answers, and do you notice anything in particular? So any of your answers not aligned with your conscious thoughts? It's just an easy way to find out a little bit about your subconscious beliefs. If you thought about it too much, and you second guess yourself, then you've probably written down your conscious beliefs. So, but it really is the first thing that comes to mind. But we'll be going deeper than this. That was just a kind of little intro. It's interesting to see for yourself what comes up. But in saying that, it's important for the workshop that we set an intention. So looking at, that last activity and your answers that come up, it might reveal some of your subconscious beliefs. So we want to set an intention, how you want to feel and what you want to believe about relationships, stated in the future state. So some of the examples for this, you could say, I feel worthy of a loving relationship. Or I love myself first. Or I trust myself. Or my partner. It could be, I am lovable. You might have your own personal intention that you would like to go with. The group intention, I will focus on, I feel worthy of a loving relationship. So it's around feeling worth, that you love yourself first. So now we want to get into just quickly decide on a intention and really kind of feel into that. You can revise it later on after the live, it's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. But then I just really want you to feel into that intention. Really just give it some attention. Really give yourself a moment to connect with yourself. What does that feel to be that person that truly and wholly loves and accepts themselves, that doesn't have jealousy because they know that they love who they are and that they're worth it? What does it feel like? Just connect with yourself. And using that bit of paper, I just want you to write down a number between 1 and 17. This is your emotion number. Just whatever number comes to you first. And then pick a number between 1 and 18. It can be the same number, it doesn't matter. Just whatever number comes to you first. This is your negative life pattern number. Write those two numbers down. So, this is your mission 1 for day 1. You can either write in the comments or DM me your intention, and I'll respond to all of you individually with more information and more details about your specific intention. So send me your intention, your emotion number, the number between 1 and 17, your negative life pattern number, 1 and 18. I'll reveal to you what has come up for you. And also your level of stress out of 10. So how much is this intention really stressing you out in this moment in time? 10 being the highest level of stress, 0 being no stress. So I just want you to rate your intention. So that is day 1, mission 1. And then tomorrow we're going to start doing the energy healings, and we'll all have our intention. We'll have, I'll give you some more information about your emotion number, your negative life pattern, a bit more about age, your belief system. I'll give you all individual readings. So if you do mission 1, you get that next level of detail, and then you'll be ready for day 2 and 3, which is the epic healing. So that's it. Thank you so much. For those that tuned in live and who've come back and watched the replay, thank you and well done. We've done day 1. Really excited to have some epic transformations. This is my soul work. This is my purpose, and I love being here and turning up. And first time I've done a 3-day challenge like this. So really, super excited to share more of our transformations and more of what's in my head about all of this stuff. Really love sharing. And if you got any questions at all, please let me know, and we will work through any of those. I'll do a coaching session at the start of each day to work through any questions that you guys have. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. I love you. Mwah. Oh, also another thing at the, before you go to bed tonight, set an intention. Just, set your intention out loud if you can, that what we've talked today, and that you will have any problems that you may have, questions, something that you're stuck with, just ask the question before you go to bed and know that you will get the answer in the morning. I love that. I always get that really cool thing. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. Thank you guys so much. Love you. Mwah.